In this edition of RPPV News. A stormy night for two teenagers, keeping our elderly safe, and the Queen has honoured one of our own. Hello, I'm Catie Sharp. Welcome to the latest edition of RPPV News, bringing you stories from across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula. We're a step closer to lockdown freedom this weekend as we welcome visitors back into our homes, but only 2 per day. The 25-kilometre limit is gone and we no longer need to wear masks outside. Gyms are open and community sports are back on. There are no current exposure sites in Frankston or on the peninsula, but we do get a lot of visitors, especially over school holidays, so keep your distance, carry a mask and stay safe. Trees weren't the only thing to come a cropper last week during the night of wild storms. Last Wednesday night, detectives from the Gang Crime Squad spotted 2 alleged offenders in a stolen vehicle in Clyde North. The officers, with the assistance of the police dog squad, attempted to arrest the pair, who both fled on foot into the cascade on Clyde wetlands. One of the men, an 18-year-old from Dandenong North, jumped into a lake in order to make a wet getaway. But unable to swim, he had to call out to the police for help. They entered the lake and rescued the man. About 20 minutes later, a police dog located the second teenager, a 17-year-old from Glen Waverley, lying face up in a shallow water in a semi-conscious state. Both men were taken to hospital where they were treated for hypothermia and other injuries. The Dandenong North man was charged with theft of a motor vehicle and drug possession and will face Frankston Magistrates Court. It was World Elder Abuse Awareness Day this week. Financial abuse accounts for 2/3 of Victorians who are victims of elder abuse. Ageism is identified as a driving factor made worse by lockdowns and social distancing. The Respecting Seniors network of Frankston and Mornington Peninsula is working hard to challenge ageism locally and create the change needed for everyone to feel respected and safe. This year they launched a campaign titled Inheritance, Not an Entitlement. RPPFM spoke to Kirsten Young from the Peninsula Community Legal Centre about this distressing issue.
One of the things about the difficulties in addressing elder abuse is that often the people who are actually the older people who are being subjected to it don't recognise it as abusive behaviour, and they don't recognise it as family violence, which is what elder abuse actually is, because the perpetrators are most commonly their children, their adult sons or daughters. When it comes to the most common form of elder abuse, which is actually financial abuse, and closely linked to that, emotional and psychological exploitation, I think we've still got a way to go in terms of recognising and identifying that, particularly now with the property market spiralling out of control and housing becoming increasingly unaffordable for younger generations. We're seeing an increase in people getting impatient about their inheritance and pressuring their parents or their older relatives to hand over the family home or other assets, money, before they die.
If you or anyone you know has concerns relating to this topic, you can contact Peninsula Community Legal Centre on 9783 3600. They have offices in Frankston and Rosebud. The Shire is tackling textile and electronic waste. Each year, every Australian sends an average of 23 kilograms of clothing and other textiles to landfill. And what do you do with your toaster when it dies? The Flinders Lions Club has helped fund a new recycling trailer that accepts all clean clothing, hats, shoes, bags and small electrical appliances such as hairdryers, toasters, drills, mobile phones, tablets and laptops. Worn-out textiles will be turned into wash rags and biofuel, and good pieces donated to op shops or given a second life in global communities that need them most. Faulty electronics will be recycled locally. The trailer is available for hire by community groups for up to 4 weeks at a time. The RPP family is delighted to congratulate Captain Dick Cox, who was the centre of local media attention this week after earning a well-deserved Medal of the Order of Australia in the Queen's Birthday Honours. Captain Cox received the medal for services to the community and the Mornington Peninsula. He is a long-term member of the Rotary Club of Somerville Tyab and serves on a number of other committees, including the Western Port Seagrass Partnership and Somerville Community House. He was named Somerville Community Member of the Year in 2020. And most importantly for us, Captain Cox helmed the group that sourced and built the RPPV studios and offices. We talked to him about that project.
2009 we started looking when your establishment was going to get pushed out of Murdoch, and it was 2 years and 1 month later that we had the opening, and it was actually 9 months of my life spent building here, so it was enjoyable. We actually saved the community about $1 million on it. The Shire had 1.4 million down for the project, but we did it for just over 400,000. We got together and got everything done, and with huge great support from the community, from all the businesses around the place. It was fantastic, the support we had.
He also talked about an exciting new project that will benefit all of the peninsula.
Rotary-wise, with the Shire, we're looking at the bike trail around the whole of the peninsula and getting that up, which is a big project. It's Rotary's centenary this year, so it's a big centenary project for us. Centenary in Australia, that is. So we're looking to get this bike trail up and running, working with the Shire on that. But it's a long-term project. It'll take more than a year to do that.
And this is a call out to our musical young people. The Freezer Youth Music Program is looking for you. This is a fully funded support program for musicians aged 12 to 25, which gives you the chance to record, make a music video, plan a launch event and receive mentoring from industry professionals. Both bands and individual musicians are eligible to apply. You can also join a committee of young people who will put on the Push All Ages tour with the support of Triple J Unearthed, working with artists such as Ruby Fields and Baker Boy. To apply, follow the link on the Shire's Facebook page. After the break, we go to Nicola with the coming week's weather report.
There's a quiet revolution happening on the rooftops of Australia. And at Solar Heart, we're proud to be leading the charge. One home, one family, one solar panel at a time, helping smart Aussies make a real difference to the planet, cutting their energy bills and connecting them to their smart energy future. Get smart, get Solar Heart.
RPPV and Bendigo Bank have a long-standing relationship. Without the Bendigo Bank, we wouldn't have a transmitter site, we wouldn't have a studio, we wouldn't have an outside broadcast van, and without them, we can't tell the stories that we think the Bendigo Bank community, our community, needs to hear.
Thanks, Bendigo Bank.
Thanks for your support.
Hello, it's Nicola here with your RPPV 7-day weather forecast. May I say it's good to be back and out of lockdown. Many of us are just only now starting to surface and are enjoying travelling beyond that 25-kilometre limit. And the good news is that we can now walk around without any of our masks. However, the bad news is you will need your umbrellas as we may head into a mostly wet week. Let's take a closer look at the week ahead. Saturday, the 19th of June, will be a partly cloudy day with 20% chance of any rain. Winds will be light and we will experience a low of 8 and a max of 14. Sunday will be a partly cloudy day as it will be all week. Expect a 20% chance of any rain with a low of 5 and a top of 14. Monday sees a 10% chance of any rain with a chilly low of 4 and a max of 13. Tuesday brings a 20% chance of any rain with light winds. Expect a low of 5 and a max of 13. Wednesday, the 23rd of June, should greet us with a 50% chance of showers, most likely later in the day, and we will be heading toward a low of 5 and a top of 14. On Thursday, we will see an 80% chance of any rain, possibly 2 to 8 millimetre. We will be looking at a minimum of 7 and a max of 14. And finally, Friday, expect a shower or two leading to 70% chance of any rain. We should see a low of 6 and a top of 14. Well, that's all for this week. Enjoy your freedom, support our local businesses, and until next time, take good care.
And now to Muzz with the Surf Report.
Hi guys, welcome back to this week's Mornington Peninsula Surf Report. It's Muzz here. Hopefully that's the last day we have to wear those masks outside. Got through last week's terrible weather, a lot of tree damage, and unfortunately the banks didn't get any better because of that weather. There was some beach break waves last week, sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But the banks were really ordinary. 1 or 2 banks on the whole coast from Gunnedah to Portsea. So if you were looking around, you probably found those 2 banks. But yeah, it was average, small swell too didn't help. And all the banks that were there got swallowed up by those big tides. Anyway, the week in front of us looks pretty similar. Bit of a push in the swell today, which is the Thursday. But unfortunately, by the looks of it, the wind's going to swing around to the onshore direction, the onshore quarter, like southwest to southerlies, probably tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's going to be a bit of swell, and now that things are open, maybe to travel a bit further afield, you might get some reasonable waves somewhere. But it's still anyone's guess. Looks like Wednesday next week, Thursday next week, we're going to get the winds back around to the north, which will mean we'll probably get reasonable waves. The swell's going to be in that sort of 1.5 to 2 metre size. It's going to be pretty solid on the banks, but maybe the banks are better when the swell's actually bigger. Otherwise it could be small waves on the reef. So you will get wet this week. It's not a great week for the reopening, but if you want to go surfing, there'll be waves. All right, I'll see you next week.
And that's all from our team here at RPPV News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Stay safe, use QR codes and get vaccinated if you can. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.